time, boy, it's time to break it down. Grab a mic, kill the stage, yeah, second nature now. Mama said I'll make a prayer, I told her I made a vow. Just to wait around, in the year I'll put her in a house on the shore.
The original Hyperdunk had the worst traction I've probably ever seen on a basketball shoe. The 2010-2011 versions both greatly improved upon that. And this is the first Hyperdunk that has probably the best traction out of all of the series, where it's literally a full-length type of traction surface and court coverage instead of those stupid little squares with herringbone inside of it, giving you very minimal coverage. This is just, you know, gigantic grooves all over the shoe. And not only that, it's multi-directional. So you have traction surface going this way, frontwards, sideways, and backwards, which is awesome. So the traction, in my personal opinion, is fantastic. It's almost perfect. It would be perfect if this wasn't translucent. So if you're using these for outdoor surfaces, I would definitely go for something like this, the combination between clear sole and solid, or just one with an entire clear sole if you want a Nike Idea pair. But if you're playing indoors predominantly, I'd definitely go with the full-on solid rubber. So try not to get one with this what do you call it, the translucent sole, because I had to keep cleaning these. It was to a point to where, you know, certain floor conditions that were moderately dusty were okay, but then it got to a point to where just like dust was just being soaked up into this stuff, and so I had to scrub these off. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it, but like even the heels, like it just absorbed in there and I couldn't get all of it off. But traction for the most part is great, better than any of the previous. Just try to go for something with a solid rubber outsole. Unless you are playing outdoors, then you could pretty much use whatever the heck you want. Also, a lot of people have been asking me, should they get the Nike ID pair since it has the XDR? You could do that if you want. You know, all it's going to do, back in the day we never had XDR outsoles. We only had basketball shoes, and if you played in them indoor or outdoor or both, that's just what you did. So stop worrying about, you know, can I use this outdoor? You can use any shoe outdoor. Like, I'm not even joking. You can use any single shoe outdoor. Brands just charge you a little bit extra because it says it's more durable. Like, who cares? It's going to wear down almost exactly the same. It might last maybe a month or two longer, but it's not worth 40 or 50 extra dollars, in my opinion. You know what I mean? So if you want to wear these outside, go for it. Stop, you know, worrying about like, oh, can I play in this outside? Any shoe you can play outside, and that's pretty much the bottom line to it. But anyways, so traction, again, very good traction. Just try to go for something solid if you play indoors. Outdoors, pick whatever surface or type of rubber that you'd like and go with that. The cushion, in my opinion, is not quite as nice as some of the past Lunar Lawn experiences that I have experienced. In the running shoes and in the Flyway 2s, they have full-length Lunar Lawn. This one is targeted or sectioned. So you have a heel unit basically right around here, and then you also have a forefoot unit right around here. They're shaped fairly similar to like a Zoom bag, with the exception of the heel. The heel is a lot larger than any Zoom bag I've seen. But all of that stuff is housed inside of this midsole, which is Phylon, and then the arch itself is made out of Phylon. So that's where I have my problem, is that Lunar Lawn is a lot more open-celled than any other foam, especially Phylon. Phylon's a little bit more dense, and so Lunar Lawn's real fluffy, which is great because it really disperses that impact. So when you hit, instead of it being targeted to the heel or to the forefoot, it's just being dispersed evenly. So it kind of takes less wear and tear off of your body and your joints. With it being targeted into the heel and the forefoot, you do get plenty of that action in the heel and forefoot itself. But then once those cells start to break down and soften up, because foam doesn't last anywhere near as long as an air product, you start to sink into it a little bit. And when you're sinking into the heel and you're sinking in the forefoot, yet the midsole section or the arch is more firm, you're basically going to be sinking around it, and so your arch is going to be pressing into that section of the shoe right here. And after time, you can notice it. You know, that's the only downside in my opinion, is just that it might not last too much longer. The cushion on these would have been a perfect 10 if they would have just stuck with Phylon and had the heel and forefoot zoom units that they've been having. Basically because they finally made a midsole that is lower profile. I hated all of the other Hyperdunks on a personal level just because they were too thick and too high off the ground. These ones feel a lot nicer and they feel a lot more low to the ground. So if it were Zoom, it would be perfect. As it is right now, Lunar is one of my most favorite foams, so I can't knock it too hard, but I just wish that it would have been used full length instead of targeted sections in the heel and forefoot areas. The materials and fit are probably my favorite aspects of the shoe altogether as a whole. The materials are pretty much perfect. For being a synthetic, this is probably like my favorite usage and all that stuff of Flywire altogether. It's next generation and it has the most flexibility within the material itself. So this area here, it didn't even need break-in time. It's so durable on top of that, and it's really weird because it's thin. This is more like fuse, and then you have Flywire cables throughout, but this is like new Flywire cables. These are not those like thread strings that they put in all the other stuff. This is actually like gigantic thick nylon pieces, which is awesome. A lot of people are concerned that this is going to be too weak, or since it's exposed, what if they get cut? You know, I don't ever see a player running around slashing people's shoes. It's just not something that happens. So this it would have to be chewed down quite a bit for it to be able to rip on court. You know what I mean? So I'm sure that it could happen, but the chances are very, very slim. So if it does, I'd be surprised. The most that you might see is that those two triangles right here, one here and one here, those are the stitch points. That's what's keeping this top section attached to the upper, besides it being a part of this toe here and then the base. So if those were to rip, then you'd have a problem, because then it wouldn't be attached to the top of the shoe and you wouldn't get all that nice fit and support and all that stuff. So materials, I think they're almost perfect. They probably are perfect. I think they're awesome. As far as the fit is concerned, I mentioned this in the initial video, but they do run a little bit narrow. So if you have a wide foot, you might want to go half a size up. At least try the shoe on. These are available at every single Foot Locker that I've ever been into. So maybe not this version here, but the $140 version. Which brings me to one more thing real quick. Is there a difference between the Nike Plus and the Nike Lunar Hyperdunk 2012? The answer is no. The only thing that is different between the two is that one has the Plus system, the other one does not. That's the only difference. Everything else is exactly the same. So the performance on this shoe is going to be exactly the same as the other models that don't have the Nike Plus system in it. Now, with that being said, back to the fit. The forefoot fit, being that it is narrow, there's absolutely no dead space whatsoever. They fit true to size lengthwise, but again, if you have a wide foot, you might want to go up half a size or at least try them on. The forefoot fit is pretty much perfect. The midfoot fit is awesome. This is the first time where Flywire actually does something besides look cool, because it is exposed and it's almost a separate integrated piece. Once you lace up your midfoot section, it actually does hug and wrap around your foot, giving you a one-to-one fit. So no matter what type of movement you're doing, this material is staying with you the entire time. So I think it's freaking awesome. It's almost like having bungee cords wrapped around your foot. The heel lockdown is also very good. I didn't even need to lace these up all the way. I laced these up to the second to last eyelet and I was perfectly fine. The heel is not quite sculpted, but it's a little bit molded in there, so it definitely helped keep that heel in there. It notched the Achilles area just enough to where it wouldn't be flopping in and out of the shoe. The external heel cup it's okay. It does exactly what everything else does, whether it's TPU, carbon fiber, whatever it is, cardboard. They all pretty much do the same thing, but because the back panel is padded and slightly molded, it really cupped around that ankle and Achilles area so that it didn't move in and out of the shoe like some shoes would. So overall, materials pretty much perfect. The fit, awesome. If you have a wide foot, definitely try these on or go up half a size just to be safe. And other than that, lace them up and have fun. As far as ventilation is concerned, this is again probably the best Hyperdunk to offer ventilation. The original, it had a little bit, had some in the tongue with the mesh. Same with the Hyperdunk 2010, the mesh tongue was pretty much all the ventilation you got. 2011 gave you a couple of small little windows, but to say that it had perfect ventilation would be an outright lie. And this one here still is not perfect, but it's definitely better than any of the previous ones. So you still have that really thin single layer mesh along the tongue, which is great. Gives you plenty of airflow and ventilation, plus an area for heat to escape and moisture to start to dissipate. But the rest of the shoe, which is attached to that tongue, is this very nice and open kind of breathable material. I don't know what it is. It's a lot of mesh and kind of like spandexy type material. So, and that's pretty much all what's in here as well. And this is all open on the inside, so you're getting tons of ventilation throughout the collar here. And then all of this stuff inside, all the lining, is all perforated as well. So there's not one truly restricted area for airflow. Anywhere that you see perforations or mesh, you're getting exactly what you see, which is tons of airflow, tons of ventilation, and a good enough area for heat and moisture to escape without leaving your foot too hot or too moist during the game. So ventilation in this shoe, better than every single Hyperdunk that's ever been released, period. The support is mostly coming from the overall fit itself, being that it's very snug around the forefoot, hugs your midfoot tightly, and then wraps itself around your ankle and Achilles area. The fit itself is giving you most of the support, and it does a damn good job of it. The rest of the support, as far as your arch is concerned, is coming from the shank plate that's at the bottom. I believe this is another carbon fiber or glassed carbon fiber based shank. I doubt this is entirely carbon fiber. And it does exactly what it's supposed to do. It allows some rigidness where you need it, and flexibility in all the other sections of the shoe. The best thing that these shoes have is that it's not quite got like an outrigger, but it does have an exaggerated lateral piece here. So the base all throughout the shoe is widened. So you have much more stability along the bottom of the shoe here. Your foot is definitely inside, and then the base of the shoe is outside, so no matter what you're doing, you're having the most stability and support at the bottom or foundation of the shoe, which is great, and that definitely helps it out, or helps out you as a player, no matter what you're trying to do on court. So whether you are a point guard or a power forward, you're going to be perfectly stable and have a lot of support throughout the shoe from the fit all the way down to the base. So this is one of the most versatile sneakers for performance that pretty much any brand has ever put out, and this has been a continuation of the original Hyperdunk, where the Hyperdunk 2010 and 2011 have been pretty much that year's most versatile basketball shoe on the court at one time. Alright guys, so that takes care of the review on the Hyperdunk 2012. This is one of the best performance shoes of this year, if not the best. As far as it's probably like its overall score goes. My personal favorite, this is definitely within the top 3. I wouldn't give this the #1 spot just yet, but it is definitely within the top 3 right now of my personal list. So you can get these now over at most online retailers, Finish Line, Foot Locker, Nike Store, pretty much everywhere. So it should be easy to find these. They cost about $140, which is nice. And no, I'm not talking about the Plus version. If you want to know more about the Plus system for basketball, you're going to have to wait for the next review, because I'm going to do these two things separately. So again, like I was saying earlier in the video, there's absolutely no difference between this shoe here and the regular versions that are $140 other than the Plus chip inside. So with that being said, go ahead and cop your kicks, lace them up, have fun on court, because that's exactly what they were meant for, and this is definitely a beast on court. So thank you guys for watching. Thanks for all your support. If you want to see all the scores, go to my site, kicksoncourt.com. And until next time, guys, have a good one.
Boy, you know I'm trying to differ. And so far I think I'm doing it. Anything is possible, and boy, I think I'm proving it. People looking up to me, I'm really kind of new to this. Yeah, they looking up to me, I'm really kind of new to this.